Okay, hello, good morning, seniors and special needs friends. This is your class now. It is time for your session with Mr. C, and now it's time for our Music Academy jingle. So if you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C, and learning is fun, and singing is fun. Okay, even though you probably heard a little bit of. I think I need to clear my throat a little bit there in my throat there this morning, but that's okay. It's morning voice. But good morning to everybody. Once again, my seniors and special needs friends, thank you very much for joining me. It is now time for your music session, and today we're going to continue with rhythms, okay? And I have a new type of one little new element, a new type of note called the flam, and I'm going to explain everything what all of that is about. So make sure you have a couple of things. First of all, if you're going to be drumming, okay, you make sure you have your drumsticks, you have your drum pad or your actual drum. If your drum doesn't require any sticks of any kind or anything like that, then of course you use your hands, and make sure you have that ready. But if you don't have any of those materials, it's okay because we can still clap. We can still take two type of sticks, even rhythm sticks, if you happen to have that nearby, and you could do that. Or you can do that the same thing with your own drumsticks, okay? There's lots of different things that you can do in place of a drum, okay? In place of not having those materials, like getting two wooden spoons or two plastic serving spoons, two actual metal spoons, whatever you may have at your leisure, okay? Pots, pans, things like that, maybe even two pencils, anything that you can use. And again, if you're just going to clap, then that's fine too. Okay, we can use body percussion. You're clapping your hands or even, hitting on your laps. Okay, all of those things will definitely encourage and reinforce understanding of rhythms. Okay, especially when it comes to, I love body percussion. I love clapping. I love, slapping the knees and the legs and things like that. I love that stuff because it definitely allows you to feel the rhythms more, and that's what really it's all about. If you guys are feeling the rhythms, if you get a very good sense of rhythm, and it can guide you through any song that you're going to do. And I don't care if you're singing a song, I don't care if you're playing an instrument, okay? Body percussion really leads to feeling those rhythms, hearing how they sound, and feeling them, okay? And that can guide us through any song, because without rhythm, let's face it, folks, without rhythm, you would have no music, because rhythm is like the heartbeat of music. Okay, so let's get right down to it. Our hymn for today is called Taste and See the Goodness of the Lord, and that particular hymn was written by James E. Moore. It's actually been inspired by the biblical scripture of Psalms 34. Okay, so if you ever take a look at Psalms 34 in the Bible, okay, a lot of the words that are there in this particular song, you're going to see it's it's from the Bible, from Psalm number 34, okay, of the Old Testament. But in any event, Taste and See the Goodness of the Lord by James E. Moore. You can type that in the Google search engine, okay? Direct care workers, if you can help our friends out as well, that'd be great to type that into the Google search engine, whether you're using your phone or your tablet or another page on the computer, okay? Please get that if you don't know the lyrics, you don't know the words to the song, and type in the word lyrics as well. The title, Taste and See the Goodness of the Lord by James E. Moore, and type in the word lyrics. You don't have to, I don't think you have to type in the composer's name. I'm just making sure everybody knows that this is something that was written not by me, okay, but again by Mr. James E. Moore. But type in the title and the word lyrics, and those lyrics should pop up right away. Taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Actually, you might have to even put in the author, because in actuality, James E. Moore wrote one version. There have been other versions of this song, inspired by the Psalm 34. Okay, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. So there might have been other versions written by that. You want to definitely get the James E. Moore version. Okay, so that's actually very important, so that we have the right lyrics, because some of the words are repeated in different ways. It just depends on who wrote the song. Okay, but okay, that is the hymn for today, so that we can praise God with it. But first, let's get into some stretches, everybody. Everybody sit up nice and straight, shoulders relaxed, and everybody reach up into the sky as high as you can. Reach. Okay, as high as you can. Remember what I said. If you can only go up to here, that's okay. If you only go up to here, that's all right. Do not push it. I can go up to here. That's my capabilities. Only go as far as your capabilities allow you to. Okay, do not over push it, folks. Okay, and let's put them down and start rolling the shoulders back. And breathe while you do this, everybody. Breathe while you do all of these stretches, okay? Make sure you are breathing while you're doing them, okay? Everybody roll them forward. Roll them forward. Very good. Okay, now everybody rotate the necks very slowly all the way around. As much as you can. Remember, do not over push yourselves, guys. Great, everybody rotate in the other direction. All right, everybody look all the way up. Look all the way down. All the way to your right. And all the way to your left. And shrug and hold your shoulders. Shrug and hold. And drop it down. Once again, shrug and hold. And drop it down. And everybody put your hands in front of you like this and start opening and closing your hands. Remember to breathe. Okay. Now everybody squeeze your fist. Squeeze and hold. Keep squeezing. Keep holding. Keep squeezing. And shake it out. And start rotating the wrists inward. Keep your hands out in front of you and rotate the wrists. Great. Rotate them outward. Okay, great. My students, now rotate them with your elbows and wrists outward. There we go. And everybody go in the other direction. Rotate them inward. Elbows and wrists. And breathe. Great. Shake it out a little bit. And everybody take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. All right. We are ready to go. Great job, everybody. Okay, so that should make us nice and limber with our voices as well. Okay, all the stretches that we do are not just targeted for your overall dynamic movement, for your ability to move, but also everything is targeted over here in the shoulders and the neck. Okay, all of that helps to stretch your vocal cords. Okay, so that you can be good for singing. Okay, that is all beneficial for your voice. Now, let's get those lyrics handy. Let's make sure we have them. Taste and see the goodness of the Lord. It's God's way of saying, watch and see how much I will bless you, my people. If you are his people, then he will, just watch and see. Try. He says in the scripture, he says, ask me and see if I don't bless you 7 times more over. Okay, he says that in one of the scriptures, and this particular hymn is such a wonderful, wonderful reminder of how much he does for his people and how he's happy to and cares for his people. So let's have that in mind while we're reading. Okay, while we are singing along together. Taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Okay, let's have that in mind and thank God for allowing us to be here, guys. Okay, so here we go. This is Taste and See the Goodness of the Lord, written by James E. Moore. Taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Oh, taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord, of the Lord. I will bless the Lord at all times. God's praise shall always be on my lips. My soul shall glory in the Lord. For God has been so good to me. Taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Oh, taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord, of the Lord. Glorify the Lord with me. Together let us all praise God's name. I called the Lord who answered me. From all my troubles I was set free. Taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Oh, taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord, of the Lord. Worship the Lord, all you people. You'll want for nothing if you ask. Taste and see the Lord is good. In God we put all our trust. Taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Oh, taste and see, taste and see the goodness of the Lord, of the Lord. And that was Taste and See the Goodness of the Lord by James E. Moore. Once again, everybody give yourselves a round of applause. Great job. Okay. If you were able to follow along with that, that's great. Okay. If not, if you had a little bit of trouble, that's okay. All you have to do is go right back to this video. The video will still be there. Go back to the video, have your lyrics handy, and practice. Just practice, guys. Okay. All right. So now let's get down to our rhythm, okay, our percussion. We're using all kinds of materials: rhythm sticks, drums, hand drums, or whatever we have lying around the house: pots, pans, wooden serving spoons, plastic serving spoons, regular spoons, pencils, pens, just good old-fashioned body percussion, clapping, knee slapping, okay, especially today, which I'm going to show you something called the Flam, okay, which are especially slapping on the knees would be really, especially if we don't have anybody here who does not have any of those materials to hit with, okay, then you could definitely be able to use the note that we're going to learn, definitely use our legs, our laps to actually exhibit, to show that flam, okay? Now, what is the flam, okay? Let's go right over to the board so we can discuss, okay? So we can talk about this. Take a good look. Now, on top, I have a rhythm example, okay? I'm going to bring the, I'm going to adjust my tripod stand here. My camera. This way you can see everything, everybody. All right. So take a very good look. On the top, I have a 4-measure example in a 4/4 meter. We talked about our 4/4 meter having 4 beats in every measure. Okay, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Happens to be 4 measures. FYI, everybody, just in case you didn't know, not every 4. In fact, actually, this actually proves what I'm about to say, because we were doing 2-measure examples, even 3-measure examples. We were doing stuff like that. Okay, so the meter does not indicate how many measures we're going to have in a song. Okay, just I want to make sure everybody knows that, because a lot of my students tend to tell me, hey, Mr. C, this is a 4/4 meter. So when I ask them, what does that mean? What does it mean? What does the 4/4 meter mean? They'll tell me right away, oh, it means that we're going to have 4 measures. No, that's not true, guys. Okay. So the meter at the beginning of the song does tell us a lot about the song, about how we're going to approach the song, okay? But it doesn't indicate to us that there's going to be a certain amount of measures, okay? Now, again, what are measures? And measures are separated by bar lines, okay? They're bar lines, okay? The bar lines create this box, okay, which is called a measure that contains a certain amount of beats in each, okay? But the 4 on the very top, the number 4 on the very top of a meter will tell us that there are going to be 4 beats in every measure. So in every measure, in a song, in a 4/4 meter song, we could have 100 measures in the song. We could have as much as 200 measures. There are songs, classical music, lots of compositions, symphonic compositions where they have, plenty of measures, okay? And they've all been done in a 4/4 meter. So again, it doesn't matter. The meter does not tell us, I should say, how many measures there will be in a song. It just simply indicates to us how we're going to approach the song, knowing that every measure, first of all, when the number on the top is a 4, that we're going to have 4 beats in every measure, okay? Not only that, the number 4 on the bottom tells us that the quarter note, that's these guys right here, which are 1 beat. We've learned that these are 1 beat each, right? Okay. Well, the reason we know that is because of the number 4 being at the bottom. Now, it could be a different number. It could be a different number, in which case it will tell us a different note that would receive 1 beat. But because there's a number 4 at the bottom of the meter, every quarter note we're going to be looking at is going to be worth 1 full beat. And then all the other notes kind of stem off from there as far as their note value, how many beats they're going to be. But it starts with the meter, everybody. It starts with the meter, okay? I know this is a lot to process because I don't think I've done a lot of this, okay? But just so you know, again, the number 4 at the top. If you see a meter at the beginning, if you guys ever happen to see or have ever seen sheet music, okay, you'll see that the meter is at the beginning of a song, okay, and the top number will tell us the amount of beats per measure. In this case, it's going to be 4, okay, and then the bottom number is going to tell us again that the quarter note, specifically the number 4 being on the bottom, that the quarter note gets 1 beat, okay. All right, so by the way, all my Patreon, all my Music Academy members, there will be eventually a worksheet that coincides with this particular session. So you'll be able to see that as a reminder, okay, of everything that I'm talking about. But take a good look. We're going to notice the first, or I should say, a couple of notes in the first measure. We have what's called a flam. Now I put an example of it right here at the bottom, okay? This is a flam. Everybody say that, flam, okay? Why is it called a flam? Well, okay, it's the way that it's hit, okay? Notice that there's this little tiny note. This little tiny, looks like an eighth note. Looks like a single eighth note, but it's smaller than the quarter note that it's attached to with this little arc line over here. Same thing in the first measure, the very first beat of the measure, okay? We have the flam attached to it, okay? That little tiny note, okay? That little tiny note is known as the grace note, okay? Everybody say that, grace note, okay? Now, in rhythm, however, in rhythm, because we're dealing solely with rhythm, okay? Because we're doing percussion and rhythm, okay? This whole thing is known as a flam because of the way it's hit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my drum pad over here. Take a good look. Okay, so it shows you what I'm doing here. Okay, so what I want everybody to do is get their materials ready. Okay, and then I'm going to show you also how you would do it on your lap as well. Okay, but for those of you who have drumsticks or even if you're going to use your hands too. Okay, you know you can definitely do that on whatever hitting surface you have. But the flam, okay, using that grace note, this is kind of like an extra accented tiny little note, okay, that it's sort of significant but insignificant in a way. And notice what I put as far as how many beats it's worth. It's still worth 1 beat, almost as if this little tiny grace note didn't exist, because remember what I said, the quarter notes are worth 1 beat each. So how is it that this little tiny note attached to a quarter note still can equal 1 beat? Well, let me tell you guys, it's really simply this. It's musicians' way of being able to bend the rules without breaking them, so to speak, okay? They purposely made this little grace note, you know, they created this grace note, okay, to be tiny, smaller than the quarter note, which is emphasized over here. The quarter note, okay, is the emphasis, the main thing, okay? And so it's, like I said before, it's sort of significant but not significant, okay? And it's still going to equal 1 beat, but adding a little something on top of it in order to what? In order to make the composition, the overall song, more interesting, okay? In order to make our rhythms more interesting, okay? And you'll see how that works. So if this is a flam, okay? When we do the flam, what you're going to do is, if you have drumsticks or serving spoons, okay, acting as drumsticks, whatever you have, okay, make sure you have the good technique, right? Just as I said before, pinch, grip, 3 fingers, wrap around lightly, okay? Take a good look what I'm doing here. You're going to aim for the center of your hitting surface, your drum pad, your drum, your tabletop, whatever you have there. You're going to have one stick closer to the hitting surface, to the center of the hitting surface, while the other one is slightly elevated more, I should say. Okay, so what's going to happen there is you're going to retract like you're going to hit with both, okay, with both sticks, okay. But when you do it, the one that was lower is going to come down first before this one. Look what happened there. Now, it's almost as if, let's put it this way, it's almost as if they were both even and you used both sticks and you went, okay, you just hit at the same time. So you're sort of doing that, except one is a little bit more elevated and the other one's lower, but they're still both floating above the surface, and you're going to sort of hit at the same time, okay? But because this is lower, this is going to come down first, so you almost have a cha-chung type of thing. Pop, pop. You almost have that going on, okay? Except it's not as separated. Let's put it that way. It's not as separated. So you're not necessarily separating those two hits, cha-chung, but you're going, okay? You're controlling the stroke so that when they come down, it's really they're coming down at the same time, but this one is still hitting first before this one, which is slightly elevated. So again, with the flam, okay, you got this, just like that, of course, without hitting the other stick. So you got this going, okay? Now, what's great about this is that you can also switch. You can also switch positions where now my right hand is lower than my left hand, okay? And then you could do the same thing. Come down at the same time, but this one comes in first because this one was already set to be lower. And then you switch it as you hit. You see that? So again, it's almost a chunk, okay, but not so separated. More at the same time, even, but again, one is lower than the other. And then you switch, and then you keep going, and you just alternate. Just like that. Very slowly. You can take this very slow and practice, okay? So let's actually do that, okay? Those of you who have drumsticks or something to hit with, okay? Let's do that together and make sure that when we hit, every time we hit, make sure one is lower than the other, and you come down at the same time, okay? But you switch every time. You switch the sticking. Okay, let's do this together, and I'm going to count you guys in. Ready? On my tempo count. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play it together. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, and switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. This is a flam, so flam, 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 flam. Keep going, guys. Okay, now stop right there. Now, again, guys, if you feel yourself, you know, you're getting a little bit off on your technique where it's sounding more like this, okay, where it's too separated, okay, try to fix that. Try to fix the separation and not so separate. Again, one's lower than the other, but they're coming down at the same time. So it has a bum, really, but it's closer together, I should say. See? Okay, so when we take a look at how we're doing that, you know, that grace note, again, adds that little extra accent, almost like an accent. It adds like an accented thing there with the quarter note, which is why they're bound together. They're bound together in a way. So we're just kind of doing that, okay? And it sounds closer and more joined together, I should say. That's the idea of the flam, okay? It adds a different feel to the separateness. We don't want to play our flams but so separate, but more together, and yet this one comes sooner because it's lower. Just like that. Always floating above the surface, but you know, by technique, always floating above the surface. Make sure your posture is good, by the way. Reminder that your posture continues to be good, guys. Straight back, shoulders relaxed. Okay, make sure your technique is good. All right. So you have that. Same thing. If you were using your hands, if it was a hand drum and you were doing, okay, so you want to position yourself the same way, everybody. One is lower than the other, okay, and then you just hit simultaneously, but this one's going to come sooner because this one's still lower. That's my left hand, and I'm switching with my right. See? Flam and flam. Flam, flam. Let's do this together. Ready? And go. Flam, 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 flam. Not like this. Don't do that, but flam simultaneously. But one is slightly lower than the other. Okay? Let's stop right there. So now, if you're clapping your hands, folks, if you're doing that, okay, watch this, everybody. So I got my legs ready here. So if you are using body percussion now, and if all you have is your clapping, what you can do is, for the rest of the example, you can just clap out the rhythms that we've learned. Okay, there's some triplet quarter notes and triplet eighth notes that we've gone over. Okay, but if you're going to do the flam, guess what? You can use your legs. You can just simply use your legs and have one lower than the other and flam. Everybody do that with me. Ready? 1, 2, and ready. Let's flam. And now again, make sure you're not doing this. Okay, not so separate, but more simultaneous while one is lower than the other. The one that's lowest is still going to come in first, but very slightly. It's a very slight, you know, there's a very slight separation, not so separate. It's not this, but so it's like really fast, okay? That's the idea. That's how we want our flams to do. So every time we do a different rhythm, we'll clap the rest, but then you use your lap for the flams. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, great job, everybody. Here we go. Let's get right to learning the rhythm now. Okay, here we go. Okay, so over here we have the first measure. It starts off with a flam. Okay, it starts off with a flam. So right there, we're going to learn this first measure. We have in the first beat. Remember, a flam with the grace note, it's still worth one beat. So on the first beat, you know, we're going to get our materials ready or our hands ready. Okay, to hit the first note, which is a flam. Okay, we're just going to go one. Okay, everybody do that. Go ahead, and it doesn't matter which one goes first. We're just going to alternate. You can start with your right being on the bottom and your left on top, or vice versa. Okay, as long as we alternate through every note. Okay, so we're going to go flam right there, and then we have our second beat with 2 eighth notes, 2 and, all right, and then we have 2 quarter notes, 3, 4. Okay, remember the eighth notes again, kind of backtracking. Those are half a beat each. So it goes 2 and then our third beat and fourth beat are quarter notes, 1 full beat each, 3, 4. Okay, so if you were using your hands, it would be flam. First beat would be flam, then 2 and 3, 4. Okay. Notice the flam between the slight difference between the flam and the regular quarter notes, again, is the grace note, but they're still worth one beat. So they sort of almost feel the same way. It's like 1, right? And then on beat 3 and 4, we got 3, 4. You see that? Meanwhile, of course, you have the 2 eighth notes there, 2 and, which each note is slightly smaller, almost resembling a quicker beat, okay? So again, we have that whole thing, flam, 2 and 3, 4. That's how we do that. Everybody, let's do that together. If you were using your legs, okay, if you were, let's say this drum pad is my legs here, okay, so I don't have to move stuff around. You could just go flam, that's your legs, right? And then 2 and 3, 4, okay? That's how you can coordinate between the flam and the other notes, okay? So let's do this together, everybody. First measure, here we go. I know you don't see my face, but you can see what I'm doing here. That's definitely more important. Okay, and of course the music. So here we go. Let's do flam, 2 and 3, 4. I totally miscounted there. My mistake, everybody. So once again, it goes flam, 2 and 3, 4. Let's count you guys in and with me. Everybody do it together. Here we go. Get your hands ready. Get your sticks ready. Whatever you got, let's do this. And 1, 2, and ready. Let's play first measure flam and flam. 2 and 3, 4, and off. Okay. Then we have the next measure with 2 eighth notes. We got 1 and then we have our triplet eighth notes, 2 and That's how we do that. Remember, 2 and if you're clapping, 2 and if you're hitting with your hands, 2 and all right. That's what we got there. And then we have our half note, which is 2 beats long. So you would go 3, hold 4. Okay. It doesn't matter which stick, as long as you're using that half note, 3, hold 4. If you're clapping, 3, hold 4. Make sure you show the hold by holding your hands together and counting over to 4, okay? That's a half note. If you're using your hands, 3, hold 4, okay? That's the idea. So in total, that measure is going to go 1 and 2 and 3, hold 4. 1 and 2 and 3, hold 4. Or 1 and 2 and 3, hold 4, okay? That's what we have there in that measure. Let's do it together, everybody. Here we go on my count. Second measure, starting with 2 eighth notes. And 1, 2, ready. Let's play it. And 1 and 2 and 3, hold 4. Okay? Do we have it? Great, guys. If not, if you're not quite sure, you remember, you can always go back to this video. That's okay. Go back to the video and rehearse, practice, okay? Here we have in the third measure, we have what's called a dotted half note. This is worth 3 beats long. So when you hit that dotted half note, we've probably done this before, I'm sure, but if not, if we don't remember, that's okay. It's very simple. You're going to hit it on beat 1, okay? Remember, it's a dotted half note. It's like a half note, but with a dot. The dot adds an extra beat because our half note is usually 2 beats long. So now we have a dotted half note, which is 3 beats long. You're going to hit it on the first beat, 1, and then hold to 2, hold to 3. So it's just going to go 1, hold 2, hold 3, or using the other hand. 1, hold 2, hold 3. That's the idea. And then you have a quarter note on the 4th beat, because there has to be 4 beats in the measure. So you have on beat number 4, you have 1 quarter note, which is 1 beat long. 4, okay? So if you were playing this whole measure, it would go 1, hold 2, hold 3, 4. Okay? So you have that. Or clapping, 1, hold 2, hold 3, 4. Okay? Or if you're hitting with your hands, 1, hold 2, hold 3, 4. Okay? There you go. That's how that measure would be played. Let's play that. Oh, if you were hitting with your sticks, I forgot, guys. I'm sorry. If you're hitting with your sticks, then you got 1, hold 2, hold 3, 4. You could do it like that, okay? I wouldn't recommend using your sticks to hit your flam, on your legs, okay? I would say, that's why, if you're using a couple of sticks, if you happen to have like a tabletop surface, a tabletop that it's okay to scuff up, okay? That would be more ideal, okay? But if you, if you're hitting with your sticks, that's a little bit harder to do a flam, okay? I would then maybe use my hands for the tabletop, just kind of go flam and then continue 2 and 3, 4, okay? That's what I would do, okay? Because there's no way to do a flam doing this, okay? However, the rest of the rhythms can be done 1 and 2. This is the second measure, 1 and 2 and 3, hold 4. And then you have the third measure going 1, hold 2, hold 3, 4. Okay, so you have that. And then you can continue to use your sticks, okay, if that's what you're doing. And everybody else, let's look at the last and final measure. Okay, we have our triplet quarter notes, which are worth 2 beats in total, okay? But they have a different feel. 1, 2, 3. We're just kind of doing that. It's like a different feel of a 1, 2, 3. Okay, as opposed to the triplet eighth notes, which are 2 and up. Okay, bop, bop, bop. That's what a triplet eighth note feels like, but the triplet quarter note feels like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, has a different feel, sort of syncopated, which, more emphasis on offbeats there. Okay, but then you have your half note, 3, hold 4. Okay, you got another half note at the end of that, just like in the second measure, but at the end of this. So if you're playing it with the drum, okay, 1, 2, 3, 3, hold 4. Let me do that again because I messed up there. But it's 1, 2, 3, 3, hold 4. Okay, that's how that feels. That looks like. Then if you're using your hands to hit on the surface, 1, 2, 3, 3, hold 4. If you're clapping, it will go like this. 1, 2, 3, 3, hold 4. Okay. Again with the sticks. 1, 2, 3, 3, hold 4. And off. Okay. That's how that feels. Let's do that together, everybody. Here we go. Get your readiness position for the last measure. We got the triplet quarter notes with a half note at the end of that. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. Let's play it. And 1, 2, 3, 3, hold 4. Okay. Again, I do count 1, 2, 3 because even though it's the first 2 beats and I count 1, 2, 3, okay, with the half note, it starts on beat 3 because it's beat 3 of the measure into 4. The triplet quarter notes are really the first 2 beats of the entire measure. But honestly, I don't have a better way of counting the quarter notes as like I do with the eighth notes, with the eighth note triplets. I just kind of always felt it like 1, 2, 3, ba, ba, ba. It always feels like that to me. So that's why I say it like that, even though it's the first 2 beats of the measure. Now, guess what, guys? We have to do the whole thing. So let's practice the whole thing and do it once. I'm going to do it once by myself. I want you to watch even try to do it with me. But then the second time, we're going to definitely do it together. Okay. So here I go. This is how I would count you in, starting with the flam. Okay. I would count us in like this. 1, 2, ready. Here I go. And flam. And 2 and 3, 4. Then eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3. Hold 4. Dotted half. 1. Hold 2. Hold 3. Quarter note. 4 and quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. 3. Hold 4 and off. Okay, that's how that goes. All right. So let's do it together, everybody. Count with me. Count as we play. Let's do this together, everyone. Here we go. Get in your readiness. Get your hands ready to clap, or your sticks ready to hit each other, or your drums, or your hands like this. Get all of it ready. We're going to play it together. Here we go, everyone. From my count. 1, 2. Nice and easy. Let's play the flam. And eighth note, quarter note, and eighth note, 2 and 3. Hold 4. Dotted half. 1. Hold 2. Hold 3. Quarter note. 4 and triplet and 1, 2, 3. 3. Hold 4 and off. Okay. That's how we do that, guys. Great job if you were able to follow along with that. Okay, give yourselves a nice stick applause or a regular applause. Okay, great job. Okay, that is how we play that example. Okay, guys, I'm going to sit down here. Everybody can relax, take a deep breath. Okay, make sure that when you go over this, make sure you practice in repetition, everybody. Practice it in repetition. Go back to the video. You can go back to the video, have this ready, and practice repeatedly so you can get this particular rhythm. Great job, everybody. Lots of shout outs to my friends all around the world who watch Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Thank you very much for all of your wonderful support in Sri Lanka and India and Philippines and in China and Japan, as well as the UK and Australia and North and South America and many other places I've not mentioned before who are just continue to watch Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy videos. I thank you so much for all of your support on that. Please, if you have not done so, click subscribe. Be another subscriber. Click subscribe. Click the subscribe button below and click the notifications bell so that you can be notified of upcoming lessons, and like and share these videos, okay? And the more you're watching, guys, it's not so much that I'm just getting all these views, Yeah, it's true. I'll be getting views and things like that, okay? But more importantly, you'll be getting, the more you watch, the more you'll be up on your skills. There might be even things that you forgot. Some things that we've done and that you forgot, and then you kind of need like a little refresher, okay? The videos are there for you, okay, for all of that. And what else can I say? You guys did a fantastic job. I will see you guys next week, okay, with something else. We're going to be doing something else next week, okay? So be ready, and great job. And as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody take care. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.